Hey, what's happening, you guys? Um, I'm gonna do a voiceover on this one because there was a lot of noise in the background. But yeah, gonna make a spacer plate. I drilled the hole in the center. It's a 51 mil, 2-inch hole saw with some nice metal bit, brand new blade. It's 100 mil by 100 mil by 10 mil thick aluminum plate you can order off eBay. Basically, just drilled the hole, lined up the gasket, super glued it on with some super glue and activator just to hold the gasket on, and I'm gonna drill the 4 holes once the gasket's nice and in line, and then basically just make a spacer plate and yeah, get it done, really. So yeah, here we have. What personally I would do is you have to re-drill the studs bigger, but sometimes that breaks into the transfer ports, into the intakes and that. What I would do is helicoil the studs, take the thick studs out, helicoil the studs, then put thinner studs in, long thinner studs, so that way that you don't have to drill out the cylinder. That's the way I would do it, but it's a budget build, so we don't want to spend any more money. So that's why we just basically did it this way. It can be done, you can drill it. Me personally, it just makes the gasket around the head a bit thinner, causes more leaks, more chance for leak around the head. So that's why I would do it the other way, but this still works. And then upon noticing, checking the studs, I can see light through the transfer port, believe it or not, because this is such a cheap cylinder. The casting on it wasn't that good. Quality check was poor. It could easily be checked with a flashlight. As you see here, I'm covering it up, and you can see the hole poking out to the transfer port there. So that would have left it early and left me running around, scratching my head, wondering why the bike's not running right. But yeah. So I'm gonna clean that up now and get some marine checks on that, or some chemical metal, JB Well. Get that up in there now while the cylinder's nice and clean. There's no grease on it yet. So before we run the bike, before we do anything, I got that cleaned up and put some sealer on there and sealed it up. Here, just getting my calipers out, making sure I got the right drill bit, which should be an 8 mil. You need to drill the cylinder studs out to 8 mil. Most of my drill bits are all loose in the box. The one I'm checking there is 8.5. And up quantity, the 8 wasn't in spot, so I just double check anyway. Like double checking things, making sure that you're doing things somewhat alright. I am gonna free drill this, freehand. If you have a drill press, makes it a lot easier and straighter. Yeah, but I'm pretty nifty with tools in that, so. Gonna use a small, tiny drill bit first, and a punch. We'll get the center punched out. We'll mark it out first. Mark it gives a bit more, makes the hole a bit smaller, so you can get center a bit easier. Just get your punch out, punch it up, pre-drill it, and then once you got the first small drill, you can go to the 8 mil drill bit, or step it up to like 5 and then the 8. I just went straight forwards in aluminum, got a big powerful drill. So yeah, I'll let you watch the video and see what you think. Got a little stand coming up here. Metal stand I made. Wooden block we can drill into too. Yeah, so here we are. We just putting the center punch, getting the holes nice and straight. This makes it a lot easier so that when you do your parted hole, it doesn't skate off. If the drill bit skates off and you get it crooked, that's it. You got no chance. So at least this way, you know, to get that punch right too, you got to get it right too. Because if the punch is out, then the drill bit will go out. So there I am there, just making sure I got my punch on straight. Going over them a couple times just to make sure that they were corner straight. That one there was a bit off, so I'm hitting on the angle here, just to get the hole a bit more centered, and then I'll straighten up the drill. Get them parted drilled out. Do all 4 holes, go along, and then come along, do all 4 holes again with the 8mm drill bit. Here we are now with the 8mm drill bit in there. I'm going to go over all 4 holes again with the 8mm. You should be able to tell once you start drilling with that if it's going to be center or not, because it'll be taking parts of the gasket off. And mine's just perfect, dead on. Yeah, we got the 4 8mm holes drilled out. Sometimes you need to ream the hole out a bit. Make sure that it fits on, it gets all the way flush. Yeah. It's just flat from the bottom. Don't seem like it more. You can trim around the outside, but I like mine's long. I think it adds a good cooling fit. Cooling base plate. Here, I'm just gonna put the gasket back on there, remark my transfer ports, and start getting them drilled out. I'll just take the drill bit, drill a couple holes in it, just so that it can take a lot of meat away, so I'm not sitting there grinding for days. back here, I'm just finished drilling out the holes, taking most of the meat out. It's just to get rid of the meat, so that way it's a lot easier when it comes to drumming it out. When you start reaming it all out, it's a lot easier. There's not so much metal there. I took a hacksaw actually and cut off the other little nibs and then broke them out. And it's pretty easy. Here I am, grinded on the transfers on the China cylinder side, getting the most of the muck out. So yeah, here I am putting the motor back together. I just taking the motor apart, should I say, and I've only got a couple bolts holding it together, and then I'll just start matching up the ports on either side and getting the plate to match the engine, and then I'll put the gasket on there and then match the Minerelli cylinder to the plate. And it's very important that you don't over grind onto the China cylinder side, because if you do that, you can easily just grind away what transfer you have and what metal there is for the sealing. So I'll do this side first and get the Dremel up in there, start grinding the most of it, match it up, give it a nice good just to get roughness out. You ain't gotta go too crazy on this part yet. Sorry, my big head's in the way. But yeah, once fat head gets out the way, you might be able to see what's going on. And yep, there we go. No, can't see nothing. But yeah, you get the point. You gotta Dremel out all the bits and ream out the ports to get them in line with each other. You don't want to reshape them, you just want to line it up first. You can reshape them and make them more of a round scoop, but you want to make sure that you have enough gasket area to do that, and it's so easy to just go overboard and run out. So just take your time and take a little bit at a time. Here, I'll put the other side of the casing in. I do it this way so I don't get mixed up. And as you can see, it's a big lump there. It's not clear. Gotta clear that out to match it up. That's why they call it case port matching. You would be surprised if you didn't do that, and just a little something like that was sticking out, would interrupt flow. Massive flow disruption. And you can't have that. watch, you can watch the engine casing actually turn shiny. It goes from a dark gray to a nice shiny. That's because I've finally reached the same height. I know that it's matching now. I know that it's because I'm scribbling back and forward. And once I go across it back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, I can see it. And it's going right there. You see it? Just turned there. So I knew that I was at the same height. Rounding off the corners here, coming in, getting a little bit off the edge there. Yeah. Getting her done, starting to take shape. Here, I started to fit the gasket, and then I noticed something wasn't right. It's not the right gasket, it's for a different bike. It looks very, very similar. I think this is out of the Peugeot. This is from my Panini Peugeot cylinder, that other motor that I'm building. So I realized what was going on. I had a quick check through all my random gaskets hanging off on the wall there. Realized there was none there. Have a quick search. Go in the box, the cylinder came in, get this proper gasket out of there, double check that before I started going ahead and just tracing things out. I finally find the gasket, check that on the cylinder, perfect match. Then I take that, put it on top of the plate. I've lost the plate because it's under the cylinder. Looking around for the plate, the cylinder, under the cylinder. I finally found this plate. It's under the cylinder hiding. Put the plate on. Put the gasket on. I know that the bottom is all matching the casings. The plate matches the motor perfectly. Now I'm going to drop this gasket down. I use 2 fingers on either side of the hose so that the gasket don't rip. Once it gets past the threads, it should just drop right down. Use a permanent marker. Trace out the transfer ports. The intake port, and then just start grinding to them points. Here we're gonna have a big tidy up. Nothing special. Usually I have a shop vac, but my shop vac's broken. These stringy bits hang onto the cloth quite good. That's why I use a towel to catch it all, and I just pick my towel up afterwards and shake the towel off. I have a greasy towel with filings on it for stripping motors and doing this type of work. And I have a cleaner towel only for when I put motors together and assemble stuff, because one little metal filing can screw your whole motor. So you got to make sure everything's kept clean. Here I'm marking out the points from the widest transfer point on the top to the transfer side on the China cylinder side, because that's the only, if you went straight through, you'd have a big hole in your engine, you'd have a big massive air leak, and you'd have gas to leak. So you just got to put it on the angle. You can draw your lines there for a reference point like I did. I was just trying to show video exactly how and where I was going to go with it. Basically just grind around on an angle until you get to those points. Don't touch the other side. Once you grind out the other side, that's it. Here you can see the casing now lined up and with a nice clear transfer so the fuel can get in there nice and easy. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It only takes a minute to subscribe. And if you want to see that new and different tips and tricks that maybe guys don't want to show, how easy this is to be done, then hit that subscribe button, man, because I'm always sharing my info and helping guys out. Thanks again.